The question is, do we need more stimulus? Here to help answer that, Arkansas Congressman French Hill. Congressman Hill, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Charles.
The Congress has moved fairly quickly. A lot of money, a lot of stimulus has gone through. It's making its way into society. As we know, though, it's been devastating. 10 million initial jobless claims in the last 2 weeks alone. Where do you see all of this going from here?
Well, Charles, I think we need to get the money that we've approved out as fast as possible. The family checks, which will be out in 2 weeks. The PPP program for small business that you described, $350 billion. And then the Fed and Treasury's ability to get even larger sums of money out in industries that are particularly hard hit. That could leverage up to over $5 trillion, and we want to make sure that that's out, properly spent, and working its way through the economy. And once we have that over the next 3-4 weeks, let's look back and see what we need to do next to be beneficial to the economy.
I think, though, one of the issues with that, some would have with that, is that we don't have time to make the sort of assessments that we normally make, whether it's with something like a hydroxychloroquine or whether it's with the economy, because by the time you declare the patient is no longer alive, you can't bring the patient back to life.
Right. Well, I do think it's important to be thinking through what might be part of a future stimulus to the economy if we need it, just like we're doing all the extra work on therapeutics and additional steps for the public health crisis. Both are in planning, and both have to be done, as you suggest, in real time. But when you have as much money as we've approved for economic preservation, I think really we should see it work in the economy over the next few weeks. But I'd be open to additional ideas in May if it's warranted. As you know, President Trump has said first. Yeah.
No,
I was going to say President Trump
is open to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, President Trump's open to it, particularly with Secretary Mnuchin in the payroll protection plan for small businesses. He's open to additional funding there. As you noted, we've got about 10% of that money already committed after just 2 days out in the marketplace.
Real quick, sir, I got to ask, are you concerned that some of the things we've done could have unintended consequences in many places, in many states and in many occupations? You actually are earning a lot more money with these new unemployment benefits than you would if you stayed at work. That's going to make it really difficult for small employers to keep some employees.
Charles, you're right. I fought against that. I think they could have made an additional benefit, but on a relative basis, different for each state, consistent with each state's practices for unemployment. And I think we will actually cost some jobs, but we need to change that if we can.
Congressman Hill, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.